Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another live chat with, of course, a beer. Hello, Willie from Arizona, and Mark, and who else we got in the live? I see we've got 5 people here. Just wondered who was here. Let me know who you are. Anyway, as I say, good evening. Little live chat tonight. Slurpy Dave, pubs, beers, and jokes. Yay! Well, as Dave's in, this beer was brought all the way from the Isle of Man to me at Hawkesbury Junction by Dave. Yeah, Slurpy Dave brought this beer to me, along with a few other gifts, which you probably saw on the thumbnail. Oh, that's just the top off the beer. You can see it's got the Isle of Man 3 legs on there. Beer mats, similar. I think that's from... That is from a pub. We'll try and get that in focus there somewhere. That's the opposite side. We have... So it's always back to front, you see. When I'm holding this to my left-hand side, which you can see it's on my left-hand side, but when it appears on my screen, of course, it's on the right-hand side. Yeah, it's all confusing. So, yeah, and there's the bushies. Say it right again. Bushies. And on the back to reality. Yay. All to do with the TT, of course. And we have this one as well. Yep, a legger. I wouldn't want that job for anything, I can assure you, being a legger. I think that would be rather difficult. They were a special breed. And I didn't realise how the time was going along. I'm drinking a cup of tea. So I'm going to finish my tea before I go on to the beer. I'll just put those out the way so I don't ruin anything. I want to keep those. So yeah, anyway, let's see what you've all got to say here. People are saying hello. We got Dave, as I said. We got Mark. We got Willie. We got Lee. And yes, imagine legging the Huddersfield Tunnel, Trev. Yeah, I couldn't actually. Huddersfield Tunnel, 3 miles of it, eh? The Standish Tunnel. I know which one you mean. The one on the Huddersfield Canal, the Standish Tunnel. Yeah, just over 3 miles, I think it is, isn't it? And it's not all flat, is it? It's not even a lined tunnel all the way through. A lot of it's bare rock. That must have been a nightmare. Going in and out like this all the way along. Oh, it's just blasted in the rock. Yeah, I don't think that'd been a legging job I want to do. The Hare Castle would be a challenge, definitely. But at least it's lined all the way through. You know, it's brick lined all the way through, just like most of them are. I wonder how actually these leggers actually worked when they went through the wide tunnels. You know, the like Braunston and Blisworth, or were those tunnels built after motorisation? I don't think so. I know the Grand Union Canal's one of the newer canals, but I think there was still legging back in that time. Pretty sure of it. I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm not sure. The extra long planks they laid on to get across, and then what happened to if they met, or when they met boats coming in the opposite direction? It's got to have been a nightmare, hasn't it? Really must have been. I really don't know quite how they legged it through wide tunnels, but there we go. Hello, Nick. It's nice to see everybody in the chat, and don't forget, throw questions at me because I'm more I'm willing to try and answer some. Try. I don't know if, well, a lot of you will remember who come into the live chats. The last live chat, I think it was the last one I did a beer review with my friend Steve on Narrowboat Brutus Maximus. Well, Steve's actually moored right behind me at the moment. I did say come over if you wanted to. I think we spent all afternoon not drinking this one, but drinking beer. Yeah, so yeah, we've already had a few guys. I had to say in the end, I got to go and get cleaned up and ready, put some clean clothes on because I've been moved the boat today. And yeah, I made lunch. Yesterday I put on top of the stove some lamb shanks. And I happen to have two lamb shanks. I cooked the two together. The plan was I'd eat one today, and I repackaged the other one back up, put some gravy in it, which I did with red wine and everything, and put the other one in the freezer for another time. Well, when I met Steve, of course, I invited him around for lunch. He brought a couple of beers over, and then we went through Trev's stock out in the back cabin, didn't we? We hit a few. Fortunately, so we're about 6 beers in already, guys. So it's an ale from the Isle of Man tonight. Yes, it is. Delivered by Racing Bikes. Yeah, it was delivered by Slurpy Dave on a narrowboat because Slurpy Dave was over here with his good lady, and they were cruising the canals as I believe they do quite regular. And we met at Hawkesbury Junction in the Greyhound. We did contact each other leading up to that a couple of times, trying to plan somewhere we could meet. And we ended up at Hawkesbury Junction in the Greyhound and had a very pleasant evening. I definitely had a very pleasant evening. I think Dave and Jackie is your wife, if I remember rightly. I'm terrible with names. Went back to their boat, and I carried on with a couple more, as you do. But anyway, that's how it goes, isn't it? Yes, we did. We had a pint in the windmill. I forgot about that, Dave. We had a pint in the windmill first, didn't we? With Steve Tyrrell. Yeah. I think Steve was there, wasn't he? Oh, terrible! I tell you, I do so many different things with different people. I forget who goes where. Who's with whom sometimes. But yeah, a pint in the windmill. That's a nice pub as well, wasn't it? That's a real good pub. That's the Windmill in Coventry. If you're ever in Coventry, anyone, visit the Windmill. Really good oldie woldy pub. And if you want some good beers, which are from some of the newer microbreweries and all that sort of thing, go to Hopster Moor, which is quite close to the Windmill as well. So you can do both quite easily. Very good. Really, really recommend both of them. Hopster Moor, but the Windmill. Hopster Moor is a modern place, but they do good beers. And the Windmill is oldie woldy, 500-year-old building, open beams and all that sort of thing. Beautiful, beautiful, proper pub. Yeah, the Greyhound's a good canal side pub. The best? I like the Greyhound, don't get me wrong. But there's a couple of others I probably like a little bit more. The Bluebell takes number one spot for me in Kidsgrove. Yeah, it takes number one spot for me. There's some other great pubs. Just trying to think of the ones now. The one in Stone I really like. Star is on the Star Lock. The one it's right by there. What it's called? Oh dear, I can't think for the life of me what it's called. It comes to me. Another great pub. Barton Turns, great pub. Yeah, there's so many good pubs. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I really like the Greyhound. It's a proper pub, but It's a little pricey. I like it, don't get me wrong. And of course, in the middle of the summer, you're sat right on the junction with the Coventry Canal and the North Oxford Canal there. So if you're sat out in the garden, beautiful sunny day, you can't ask for a better place. There's boats going around crashing because some of them don't know how to get round corners properly. So it's a 360-degree turn. If you're coming from the North Coventry onto the North Oxford, it's basically a 360-degree turn as you come under the bridge. Yeah, it's good fun watching people trying to get through there sometimes. There you go. Recording a vid as well, are you? Yeah. It's a great location. You're right there, Dave. Absolutely great location. Seems you're so close to Coventry. It's right on the outskirts of Coventry, really. You can't knock it for a low. It's still like a country pub, which I like. Get the beer poured, Trev. It'll be going flat. Now it won't. In fact, you know, Dave, that I'm an ale drinker anyway, so I like to take the lid off the bottles a little while before I drink them quite regular. That's why I took that one off. I had a bottle earlier and it was a bit lively and a bit fizzy, and I thought I wish I'd capped this one about an hour before I drank it. I'm just going to finish my tea anyway, guys. I need the tea so I can have another beer. Excuse me. Greyhound, great pub. Navigation at Bugsworth, yeah, that's a pretty good pub. It's not quite. Yeah, it's a good pub. It's just, I don't know. I've been in there and had a few pints quite a few times, but navigation at Bugsworth. It's probably in my top 20, probably not in my top 10. Good pub though. There's just so many good pubs. That's the problem. There's just so many good pubs. Most of the canal side pubs are really good. I used to really like the White Hart. Who's the White Hart? The top of Buckby Flights. But that's I've got itchy nose now. That has gone down now and it's got too commercialised. It used to be a real oldie woldy pub. Now it's more. They're more interested in serving your food than beer in there now. Used to go in there. They used to have an armchair and two armchairs and a sofa settee by the open fire. Turn up there in the winter and just sit there in the armchair with a beer on the coffee table in front of you and just chill out. Absolutely brilliant it used to be, but yeah, that's not like that anymore. Another one that used to be like that was the Bridging at Branston. That used to be like armchairs and all that. Elf, the guy that used to own that or run it back in the day. Oh, what a character. But that's now basically an Italian restaurant. I don't even go in there anymore. So disappointed the last time I went in there. I hadn't been in there for 20 years and wish I hadn't gone in there for another 20 years, I think. Excuse me here, guys. I don't know. It's gone all itchy nose. Anyway, I better read, see what you got going on here, haven't I? See what you got going on here. The navigation at Bugsworth. Need to get to the Bluebell. You do. It's a really good pub, the Bluebell. Whitecroft is good on the Lancaster. I haven't been on the Lancaster. 10 hand pumps. That's pretty good going. I think what they got in the Greyhound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it is. Might be 8. 7. I think it is in the Greyhound. The Bluebell at Kids Grove always have 6 hours on. They've got 6 pumps on. They also do between 8 and 10 still ciders. You know, the real stuff. Some of them are like Thirsty Cross and what's the Welsh Dragon. You know, they're 9 and 10% alcohol. But ciders, absolutely wonderful though. Still, of course. Yeah, the old original. I really like. Something about that old original. It's only about 0.5% stronger than Bass. But if I drink 4 pints of old original, I feel like I'm falling over. If I drink 10 pints of Bass, I can still walk back to my boat. Yeah, weird that, isn't it? But yeah, well, I'd like my. I'm going to get rid of it. This tea must be making me go all itchy. I'm allergic to tea. I think I've got to go back to beer. Tea, Dan. I've had enough of that tea. Right. Somebody might recognise this glass in the live chat there. It's quite lively. I can see that by all the bubbles look. I'm pouring it quite carefully. It's got quite a lot of CO2 added to this. Did it say it was bottle conditioned as well? I did read it earlier. While that's settling down a little bit, let's have a read and see what it says on here. Bushies, L of Man. Bit of a play on words there, isn't it? Bushies is rightly proud that all of its products meet or exceed the conditions laid down by the Manx government's Pure Beer Act. Well, there you go. Pure Beer Act, eh? Which became law in Bushy's Brewery Conditioned Ale, which became law. In I read down from there down to there, but it finishes off over here. I didn't think it made sense. Which became law in 1874 and reads, oh dear me. It's the bit in green, and even with my glasses on, no brewer shall use in the brewing or in the brewing mixing with ingredients. I can't read the next bit. Oh, on colouring, I think it says. Any beer or I've got to give up, guys. That's too small for my old eyes in the green bit there, which is the Isle of Man, by the way. It's in the shape of the Isle of Man. I can read the other bit over here. Bushy's Brewery Conditioned Ale is brewed using the finest of ingredients, including Manx grown hops, a fine, fresh tasting ale that can be enjoyed with a meal or as a refreshing. I'm terrible in my eyes, aren't I? Living there. I think it says living there. I don't know what word living there means. At any time of the day. Sample the atmosphere of the world famous TT motorcycle races in a bottle. Does that mean I've got to drink it really, really quick? Bushy's Brews, the largest selection of real ales on the Isle of Man and is beloved of beers and bike fans alike. I'm not going to read any more of it on there, guys. I'm struggling. My eyesight is not that brilliant, even with my glasses on. I need binoculars to read it, I think. Well, we got it in the glass. And I can see things rolling up over here. I ought to catch up on some of this, what we've got going on over here. 5.2 old original, Bass is 4.5, so 0.7% stronger, okay. It takes Trev 10 minutes to walk to the pub and 8 pints It takes him half an hour to get back to the boat. The difference is staggering. Yeah, totally. Actually, I'd never have a problem walking back to the boat. Never, normally. Mm. Do you know what? That doesn't taste anything like I was expecting it to taste. Not in a bad way, by the way. I was expecting it, because it's quite pale in colour, to be a bit lighter, but it's actually got a big full body to it. Loads of malt flavour. With a nice, light, hoppy finish. Well, do you know, for a beer that's 4.4, tastes more like a beer that's around 6. It's got an awful lot more body to a 4 than a 4.4 beer normally has. I could definitely drink more than one of these. I don't have more than one. But perhaps I'll have to visit the Isle of Man. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is really nice. Thank you very much there, Dave. That is really nice. I know, Trevor. Yeah. The funny thing is, I like beer with flavour. A lot of the paler beers like this just don't have the flavour in it for me. I like the malts to come through, which that does. I don't like too hoppy beers. I like a nice sort of dry hopped finish on the back. This has it. Yeah, and it's got, on the first taste, it's got a touch of sweetness to it, but that just mellows out into this sort of gentle hoppy finish. It ticks most boxes. Yeah, it really does. Really does tick the boxes, and I'm quite surprised for a beer at 4.4. It ticks all the boxes for me. Flavour's definitely there. Yeah, I can quite happily drink that. In fact, the flavour's not that far off of Old Original, is it, Dave? Sort of similar. I like a good mild as well. Yeah. What a lot of bitters are called these days, Mark. If you look for, quite often they're now called ruby reds. They're basically bitters. So if you see a ruby red, you're going to have something quite similar in taste to most bitters. Bitter became a bit of a. All the original ones are still called bitters, like Courage Bitter and whatever, Bass Bitter. They're all still called bitters because that's what they were always known as. But the name bitter, for some reason, went out of fashion. People would think that it's bitter to drink. Well, bitters aren't really bitter. They're just got a bit of hops in them, but they're not really bitter. They're not like drinking an IPA or something like that, which can have quite a bit of bitterness to it. So the name went out of fashion. So a lot of them are still basically bitters, but they now call them ruby reds. Basically the difference. Not a lot. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to go across the Irish Sea on my narrowboat. I wouldn't even go across the English Channel like some people have done in the past, let alone across the Irish Sea. I don't think there's ever a flat day on the Irish Sea. A couple of times I've done it, there's never been. Yeah, amber. That's what I was trying to think of, not ruby. Sorry, amber. Sorry, I got that wrong, Dave. You're right. They call it amber ale. Yeah, sorry. Ruby is what I actually. Well, I've seen them call. When I was in the US, some of the beers over there, which are called ruby ales, are very similar to a bitter. Over here, we call them ambers. You're spot on. Yeah. So yes, I'm gonna say this is going down quite nicely. Anyone got any questions out there for me? It's supposed to be a bit of a Q&A session here as well, and my nose is still bloody itchy, so I can't blame the tea anymore. Do you know what I think it is? When I shaved earlier, just before coming online, because I hadn't shaved for 2 days, I've got a new shaving gel, and obviously when you put it on, it sort of gets sprayed out. I wonder if it's irritating me. Now I can feel a bit of itchiness around here as well. I might have an allergy to the new shaving gel I bought, so I might have to get a different shaving gel. A fellow 20 years ago attempted the Irish Sea from Liverpool to the islands. 3 weeks later, his narrowboat was found in Anglesey, and the fellow 2 weeks later. Is that true? One of your jokes, Dave? The blackening of the boat has not happened yet, Dave. The blackening of the boat happens on Monday. Yeah, I'm currently hanging around the area. Well, you know, I was hanging around the area. The boat goes in for blacking on Monday, 10 a.m. I came past Armada boats 2 days ago. What's the day? Wednesday? Yeah, Monday. I came past Armada boats Monday and stopped and spoke to Rue. Well, he was out on the front. I just sort of slowed down. I said, "What time Monday?" He said 10 o'clock. I said, "Perfect, I'll be there." So that means I get a good lay-in, really, doesn't it? Because the clocks go back Sunday night, Monday morning. No, it's Saturday, isn't it? Saturday night, Sunday morning. Oh, so I don't gain an hour that day. I gain the hour the day before. But anyway, 10 o'clock, Monday morning. And I want to give a huge shout out here to Mark. Mark has made a very large contribution to the blackening of my boat, which I'm very, very appreciated for. Absolutely fantastic. So if you all like to thank Mark for helping me out, I'd really appreciate that too. So yeah, So Mark, big thank you. And when the boat is done, I should be doing a video about it getting done, and I shall mention you in that video again, of course. It's a true story. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. A big thank you to Mark. So yeah, I won't actually be there when the boat comes out of the water. Another very good friend, Simeon, who's been on in a couple of my videos a little bit. He lives up at Wheelock, and he has a narrowboat, but he lives in a house. The narrowboat he was doing rents on, hiring on, but he doesn't do that anymore because the CRT stopped him using more on outside his house for hire boats or something. They got all nasty over it, so he doesn't do hiring anymore. And he has offered me to come and pick me up from here, or where my boat will be, not here. I'm just by Rugby at the moment. I'm not far away. I've just been pooling around. So he's going to come and pick me up and take me up to his place, and I'm going to stay on his boat for a week while my boat's out of the water. Or for 4 days, actually. It should 5 days rather. It should be Monday to Friday. It should be going back in the water on Friday. But I do believe if weather is not that great, it may extend a day or so. But we hope it doesn't. We hope it's a nice dry week so it can get done. Yeah, well, that was my idea. I was going to stay in the Premier Inn, just actually not very far from where I am now. Well, it's a little bit further. Um, at Rugby. Oh, it's Browns over really. And yeah, it was. I don't like hotels at the best of times. Not a big fan. They're always so bland, aren't they? Uh, and well, I much prefer, you know me, I love a boat. So living on a boat or going on a boat, and I think well, we're probably if it's nice weather or it looks like it's gonna be nice weather. Simeon has just had an operation on his knee, and he's just getting over it a little bit at the moment. And we might take his boat out for a cruise. We might take it down to Middlewich and back. It's about half a day there and half a day back, so it'll be a nice little trip down to Middlewich. Might have to visit the King's Lock. Hmm, that's another nice pub, by the way. The King's Lock. I quite like it in there. They've always got a few nice ales on in there as well. They're not a food pub; they're a drinkers pub. They occasionally do some baskets of chips and that sort of thing on their busy nights, but they're not into food. So, really good pub, proper pub. All the locals are in there as well. You get a lot of locals in there, always chatty and friendly. That's another good pub, the King's Lock at Middlewich. Well, yeah, I would as well, Dave. I must admit, I prefer B&B. And I did look into that. The the Barley Mow at Newbold, I was going to look in at staying there, but it's just cost really. It was £86 a night, I think it was, at the Barley Mow. It's £49 a night at the Premier Inn. So yeah, it's going to cost me over £100 more if I'd gone to the Barley Mow. Anyway, it doesn't matter now because Simeon trumps up. Has offered me accommodation for the week. Not only has he offered me accommodation, he's going to pick me up and bring me back. Can't ask for more, can you? And it's an hour and a half stride, by the way. It's not just round the corner. Have I missed anything? People are saying. Well, Mark, as I say, words can't explain how happy I am and how much I appreciate your help. Really can't. For yeah, definitely for a B&B as well, but not much along here. Oh yeah, yeah. Dodge is the landlord in the Barley Mow. Um, Odd character. You can go in there one day and he's really, really chatty, really nice, and really, you sat if you sit at the bar, he'll be chatting to you all the time. Another time you go in there and he'll totally ignore you. I'm not quite sure, but it's an okay pub. Um, it's not on my top 20 list of pubs. Barley Mow. I'm quite happy to go in there for a pint. Um, Talk to some of the locals, and they're always friendly, not a problem. There's quite a few boaters going there that are on the permanent moorings there, or the long-term moorings, or whatever they call them these days. And yeah, I know Duncan that's on the boat. I know um, a few of the others. Are trying to think now. Uh, Gee whiz, Mick and Mari, um, Tammy. Yeah, there's a few I know that go in there that are on boats there, so that's always nice to meet up with a few other boaters as well. Mark's across. Oh, it's just come up. I just want to say Mark lives across the pond. It's only just popped up on my screen as you said it. Yeah, North Carolina. You'll be surprised, Dave. You can, if some of the microbreweries in the US now do things like bitter. I've seen a few. There's definitely a few in Illinois that do bitters. There was one. I'm trying to think the name of the. I can't think the name of the brewery now, They did one which was called 1 a.m. and it was called an English style bitter. Yeah. 1 a. What's the name of that brewery? I didn't go there after a while because it was well up towards. It was a long drive for me. It was about a 70-mile drive, but it was when I first got there and the brewery first started opening up. And then a lot of more opened up locally, so I was going to the local breweries rather than driving that distance. But yeah, they did a beer called 1 a.m. and it was an English style bitter, and it was an English style bitter. And of course, it wasn't on cask; it was keg, not cask. Although they did do a couple of cask ales in there, but not at that one. I had to drive another 30 miles to their other brewery they had when they had the cask beers. Oh well. Trying to think the name of the brewery. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm going back probably 20 years ago. Yes, so questions, guys. Come on, throw some questions at me. I can't just rabbit on forever, without some questions being thrown at me. Not if I'm going to rabbit on forever tonight anyway, because do you notice I only got one beer? That was deliberate afternoon. Totally agree. Actually, I think all beer is best on cask. Couldn't tell you. I've never done either. Never done the Huddersfield. I tried to go on the Huddersfield, not this year, last year. I rang up in June. It was June the 6th. I actually remember the date because I made a note of it when I was doing it. And June the 6th, I rang up to go through the Huddersfield, the Standish Tunnel, which is up the Huddersfield Narrows, to get to it. And the first booking they could give me was, I think it was the 30th of August, something like that, right at the end of August anyway. But they told me it would probably be closed by then anyway, which it was, by the way, because of the lack of water. And I think they closed it down. You couldn't go through after about the 2nd or 3rd of August. And they were only letting 4 boats a week through. So, yeah. But I might try it again. It won't be this year. I've got a few other things I want to do this year. Oh, dear. A few things in the pipeline early on in the year. Oh, dear. There's bones in this beer, Dave. Where do you get those bones from? But yeah, early on in the year, well, first off, January, February time, I'm getting my gearbox sorted out, I hope. My gearbox has been playing up for quite some time. It doesn't go in reverse. Well, it goes in reverse, but just doesn't go backwards very well. Apparently, the clutch plates are gone on the reverse, so it needs new clutch plates for the reverse. They're not cheap, by the way, so there's another little bit expensive job that's got to be done. I'm waiting till after Christmas to that, so I've got a bit more money back together again to do that. Always saving up to, seem to always have to save up to do jobs on the boat. But there you go. Who cares? It's my home. It's my life. It's where I live. So just like living in the house, things go wrong. Things go wrong on your boat. Just that it seems that every time something goes wrong on a boat, you can add a 0 to the end of it. If it's 40 quid in your house, it's 400 quid on the boat. But besides that, so that's going to be the early part of the year. Then in May, I've got to come back down this way again because my brother's gone on holiday in May, and my brother is now my parents' carer. My dad's 90 next month, and my mum's just turned 87, and they're struggling these days to get around. They're not as fit as they were a year ago. They were fine. They've just unfortunately gone downhill quite rapidly in the last year. So while my brother's away for 2 weeks in Greece or wherever he's going, I am going to come down and be my parents' carer for 2 weeks. So I can't do anything until basically after the end of May. And trying to book up to go then later on in the year through some of these places, I'm just not going to do it. It gets too busy, and so I'm going to be doing probably a lot of things I've already done in the past this year. I just need to make sure I can get to certain places to get back here. I also got to look for somewhere. If I don't, well, I'm probably not going to bring the boat all the way back down here. I'm going to probably stay up around Middlewich. Well, might not be Middlewich. I haven't decided yet where. And put my boat into a marina somewhere for 2 weeks, close to a rail station, so I can jump on a train, go to Wellingborough where my parents live, and get a taxi from Wellingborough station to my parents' house. So yeah, I've got a few things I've got to plan around this year. So cruising too far away is not really on the cards, and I don't want to get stuck somewhere and I can't get to a train station or something like that. I know I could get a cab at the end of the day, but they come very expensive, don't they? So yeah, so I'm hoping to jump on a train or get my boat back down close. It just depends on what's going on. Depends how quickly I can get my gearbox fixed. I hope to get it done by the end of February. If I can get it done by the end of February, I shall whoop around and come back down. I should go backwards and forwards up and down the country all over the place. Yeah, that's the way you do it. Hello, Luke. Nice to meet you. And here we go. Dottie. Hello, Dottie. Hi, Trev. Been out mowing lawn. Came in and I see you were on live. So I thought I would stop and say hi. Glad to see you on here. Beer for me. I've only got the one beer tonight, Dottie. I can't have a beer for you. I've only got the one. I do have plenty out in the back cabin, but I think one more tonight. This one's going down rather nicely, by the way. I rather like. I've definitely decided I like Manx beer. That's got a good, clean taste and finish. Well, that was my plan, Dave. Actually, is to go up on the peak because I can't. I'm not going to try and do the Huddersfield Dome. I know I've done the peak before, but I did think about going up on the Peak Forest. If I got to get a taxi back, it's probably the easiest one to do. By the way, I didn't tell you guys this. The very kind gentleman Simeon, who's lending me his boat for the week, I didn't know until we was chatting about gearboxes the other day. He's stripped them down and rebuilt them before himself. In fact, he's just done one a little while ago. So guess what? He said he'd do my gearbox for me. So I'm so lucky, aren't I? Great people out there, all you great people. It's absolutely wonderful how you help me out. It's absolutely wonderful. So Simeon's going to rebuild my gearbox for me. So yeah, so I don't know how long it's going to. We don't know how long it'll take to get the parts, but I can moor outside his house, you see, on his property, so I can stay there while it's being sorted. But it'll be in my boat this time, not in his boat. Just the difference. Saw a bloke mowing his lawn, and he was crying his eyes out. He said he was going through a rough patch. Oh. Dave. I love it. Oh dear. Yeah, going through a rough patch. Yeah. The Peak Forest. So, as Simeon lives at Wheelock, I mean, so if I get that done, I can turn around, come back up Heartbreak Hill. I go up and down that place all the time. I did it twice last year. I might as well do it a couple of times this year as well. And I back up Heartbreak Hill, up to Kids Grove, a week at Kids Grove. Well, I said better long. I can't go much longer than a week at Kids Grove because I'm running out of money in the Bluebell. No, I'll have a couple of nights probably at the Bluebell. Fill up because there's a Lidl right by there, so I'll restock up the fridge and get all of the food back on the boat and all that sort of thing, and then go on to the Mac and go up onto the Peak Forest. And the reason I was saying that is because if I get up to Marple or somewhere like that, I can get the train back to my mum and dad's if I decided to go that way rather than bring the boat back, which is the way I'll probably go. Marple or I can't think of the other place along there was a railway station as well, right by the canal. And I'll throw the boat into a marina up there and leave it there for a couple of weeks while I'm back in Wellingborough. Well, actually, I need I think 16 days is what I'm going to be back in Wellingborough for. So best part of a month I'm going to be booking the boat in for, I guess. But we'll see what goes on, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's I always like seeing my parents. It's just a case of working it in with my plans this year. So yeah, if I end up over that way, I know from there, if I could get a late booking, this is the other thing you see going through my head, because I still would like to do Huddersfield Narrow. And from there, of course, if I'm on the Peak Forest, you go off the Peak Forest onto the Huddersfield Narrow. So if it all works out, I still might do it. But I'm not making any promises I'm going to do it this year. I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen at the moment. It's so difficult to work it all out where I'm going to be. So, and as you know, I never really make any plans in concrete for doing that. Obviously, there's a couple of set plans in concrete this year. Monday, well, that's next year and this year. Monday, blacking. New Year, take my boat to get the gearbox sorted out. May, go to my parents' house. But yeah, besides, as you know, normally I just, wherever I am. I've even come to junctions before now on the canal, gone, yeah, I'll go that way. I've been that nutty before. Oh, we've got all sorts of comments coming up here. The canal boat community is brilliant. Like the old days when the neighbours look. Yes, it is. And that has just happened actually yesterday and today. Yesterday, I was moored near the barley mow in Newbold, and this guy's there. Chainsaw won't start. Can't get. He's got loads of wood he wants to saws up for his fire. He's got loads of nice ash there, and I said, "Well, do you want to borrow mine?" So it's an electric one. It's a battery operated one. The batteries are charged at the moment, but I said, "I'll let you have the chargers. So if you need to recharge, you can, and all that sort of thing." So I let him my cordless chainsaw for the day. Of course, he's over the moon. He's got that sort of day. Today, I'm here with Steve, and there's another guy just along here. He's got a problem with his rudder. It's all stiff and dry. And Steve's got a grease gun because it goes on the grease gun. Mine is a sealed unit that you don't grease it, so I don't have a grease gun. Mine is one of those encapsulated ones which you can't get grease into. So yes, older boat, and so Steve said, "Yeah, grease gun, so done." And that's what we do. We help each other out whenever we can. There's a lady the other week. I say the other week, it's about 2 months ago now. The solar panels weren't working. I said, "Well, I'll have a quick look for you." I said, "I'm no electrician, but I'll have a quick look." Well, straight away, I saw one of the connectors were broken. Where they push in the little latches, on the sides where it clicks. They're broken off. So I said, "Well, I'll go back into my boat and get the stuff. I'll repair it up for you." Well, once I took the connector apart, I noticed that the contacts inside also were a bit corroded, whereas they've got water into them. So I just snipped the cables right back a little bit, put new contacts on, put a new connector on, dipped it all together. It worked. So she was happy as well. But, it's just one of those little jobs you can do. And said, what do I owe you? I said, don't be stupid. You don't owe me anything. Boat us out, boat us out. Anyway, the next day, I've gone down to into the town. I was at Atherstone at the time. I've been down to the town. I've been down to the butcher's. And I get back to the boat, and there's a bottle of red wine sitting on my back deck. Thank you very much. You're so kind for sorting my electrics out. But I didn't ask for that, of course. But that's how nice people are. Just help each other out. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Right, what have we got down here? What have we got? I'm miles away. Actually, yeah, there's only, I think there's only one, well, there's only one proper pub at Wheelock. It's right on the canal, the Cheshire Cheese. Next to it, there's a restaurant that I think sells beer. I've never been in there. I think you can go in for a drink only if you want to. And up the road, I think there's another restaurant which sells beer. I've never been in there either. But the Cheshire Cheese, pretty darn good pub. Always got some ales on. Good people in there as well. Yeah, there's another pub I'll definitely stop at. And I always stop at if I'm going by. Real good people. I say I always stop at. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, but I normally stop there. I'm not YouTube on the cat. Gray. Oh, Gary on Chugabug, yeah. Yeah. Amy Joe, yeah. That's yeah. That's the name of the boat is Amy Joe. Yeah. Sid James, Barbara Windsor, and Keith Williams filming in an Indian restaurant. Apparently, it is the new curry on film. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll find many of those people anymore, will you? They're all gone, aren't they? Unless Barbara Windsor and Sid James are, aren't they? Kenneth Williams, I think he is. They're all gone, unfortunately. Yeah, the old Carry On films. That was some slapstick humour, wasn't it? Barbara Windsor was a big part in that, shall we say? You're the same as me, Dave. You know what I'm like with the restaurant pubs. Not me. And I think I've made enough comments about those on my videos. And a couple of places which people rave over, I've gone. Yeah, they're restaurants that sell beer and don't even want you to sit down inside the bloody restaurant because they don't want you sitting on the tables there for people that are eating. Yeah, I won't be there again. I will vote with my feet. Because I've perhaps just walked there, I'll have a pint and just walk back to the boat. Sometimes I don't even have a pint. Well, I didn't the other night. The Greyhound, okay, we all talk about the Greyhound. We like the Greyhound. Now, the Old Crown, which I can't remember where it comes under now, the village there. But as you come from the Greyhound on the Oxford Canal, besides the little bridge by the stop blocks, the very next bridge you go underneath. It's a white bridge, all painted as the main road there, and there's the Old Crown's up the hill there. I moored up just after the bridge, and I walked back, and I walked up the hill to the pub, and I believe that pub is owned by the same people that own the Greyhound. And I was recommended it by somebody in the Greyhound. So I go in there. First thing I do is walk in, and there's a sign up on a little pedestal there saying, "Please wait to be seated." That's a turn off for me straight away because this means they're more into their food than their drink. Anyway, the girl's there, and I said, "I just come in for a beer. Is that okay?" "Oh, yeah." She said, "Okay." So I walked up to the bar, and they got 3 hand pumps there. And all the labels are turned around the other way. Now, I'm assuming that meant they don't have any, or got a new bar staff on or something. They won't be able to read what they got. Not sure. So anyway, I asked. I said, what have you got on cask? Oh no, we haven't got any cask beer. So okay, we got Worthington Smooth Flow. I said, no thanks. So, it's about the same. I said, no, it's not. I said, no, I'm not interested. Thanks very much. And I walked back down to the boat. I'm not going to pay. I expect similar prices to the Graham, which isn't cheap. £4.50, £4.60 for a pint of beer that I don't like. You just don't. You're not going to go to an Indian restaurant. You don't like curry, are you? You know what I mean? It's the same difference. I don't go to a pub looking for a beer and then get told I've got to drink a different one that I don't like. It's just not going to happen. I don't drink lagers, by the way, either. But there you go. And I can see the live chat popping up here in front of me, and I'm a mile away from it. No, I can't. I think there's only Jim Dell. Oh, okay, yeah. Jim. I was thinking of a different Jim Dell. Then there's a Jim Dell that thinks he knows all about climate. The Naughty Nomad is doing really good on his Mexican food boat. Don't know him. Don't know what part of the country is he in. I'm not a big fan of Mexican food, actually. I can't stop the advertising on lives. They come up every half an hour. I put it at the. If you don't put anything in, it throws them in whenever it feels like it. YouTube does nowadays. I put it in for the minimum or the maximum amount of time you can put between lives, which is every half an hour. You should get a quick one that lasts for about 2 seconds and you can skip. Because I put in skippable ads only. I can't stop them from happening anymore on lives. You either let YouTube decide when to put them in, and that'll be all over the place, or you can choose it yourself. And I just put the maximum amount of time ads pop up is every half an hour. So I just put them in for half an hour, which is the maximum I can do. But I do also have got them set that it should only be skippable ads. They're not, as YouTube as well, not doing that. I like some IPAs. Some of them are just too hoppy for me. Yeah, it depends on what you're watching it on. If you're watching on TV, normally you don't get up many of the ads. If you're watching it through some of the, if you're watching it on Google, on Chrome, because they own YouTube, you'll get all the ads. If you watch it on, what is it? I'm just going to click here for a second, guys. I'll try not to take. Oh, no, not yet. Don't want to end stream. Click the wrong button. If you watch it on, what is this called? I've forgotten what it was called. Don't know. Watch it on Brave, you won't get any ads. So if you haven't got Brave added onto your, download Brave. You won't get the ads. I shouldn't say that really, should I? Because it's my ad revenue I'm not getting. But do you know what? I'd prefer you to be happy than not watch because of an ad break. But yeah, I can't stop them anymore. I never used to put any on. Yeah, so I just said, yeah, Brave. Phones are terrible. Phones get you every ad in the blooming world. I know that. On my phone, if I go to bed some evenings and I'll just put on some YouTubes, and I get ads everywhere, even on things like Talk TV, which have ad breaks. YouTube put ads over the top of the other as well. So yeah, Yeah, it gets annoying. But yeah, I once had a dog that drank red wine. It was a Bordeaux collie. Border collie. Yeah. Yeah, get Brave browser. I use it quite a lot. The Brave. I can't get it on my phone though. I tried to download Brave on my phone. It kept on error, and I don't know if you can. Perhaps it's just my phone. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going back up here a bit. I missed it a few. He's in the UK on the canals. He's just new on YouTube. Well, okay. I don't know. I've never seen him, but I wouldn't be looking for a Mexican food place anyway. When I was over in the US, my ex-wife used to like going to Mexican restaurants, and I wasn't a big fan. We went a few times, but I must admit, it's funny because I love spicy food, but I was never a big fan of the Mexican food. I think their rice is horrible, the way they cook rice. It's normally, well, yeah, I just don't like their rice, Mexican rice. Um, I'll eat it, but I much prefer to go to a different restaurant than a Mexican restaurant. It's just like I'm not a big fan of Italian restaurants as well. Well, but I love Italian food, which may sound crazy, but a lot of Italian restaurants want the cheaper ones. They want pasta with everything. I don't want to eat pasta. I don't like pasta particularly. But some of the Italian food, especially if you're northern Italy, and the dishes up around there, they don't eat pasta. Absolutely wonderful. Or they don't have it a lot all the time. Yeah, some of the stews and all that sort of thing. Their fish soups from some of the coastal regions. Absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. I don't like pasta. And when you go to so-called Italian restaurant, here, US or whatever, just about every dish has got blooming pasta on it. I don't want to eat stodge. I just find it stodgy. I'm not a big fan of any carbohydrates anyway, except for my carbohydrates come in beer. I'm not a big potato fan. I'm not a big rice fan. And I'm not a big pasta fan. So all the main carbohydrates, I'm not a fan of. Not that I won't eat them. I just prefer not to eat them. Yeah, there should. I I've messed up with a cooking video. Yesterday, I started filming a video when I made my lamb shanks, um, and today I ate them. And yeah, I've never filmed, so that's a screw up video. I will have to do that one again. There was going to be next week's video when I'm not here, when I'm away. So I don't have a video for next week at the moment, guys. So there might not be anything next Wednesday. I've got a video for Saturday, and I've got a video for the following Saturday, cruising videos, which I've already edited. And well, one of them's up, the other one's not yet because I haven't gone through I always go through the check the final edit and just before I put it up on before I load it up onto YouTube, which I got a few days to do, sort it out in the next couple of days. But yeah, so next Wednesday, at this moment in time, there won't be a video because the cooking video I started, I never finished. So it would be a bit silly of me to upload what I've done, which was showing how I made my gravy and all that sort of thing with the red wine and all that sort of thing, and how I seasoned off the everything. But yeah, I screwed it up. Today, suddenly said to Steve, I said, "Oh, I've got this I've made." So he's all up and shouting away, and I suddenly thought after I finished eating it, I was supposed to be videoing that. Didn't happen. Oh well. Oh, oh dear. Christmas card from Uncle Ben, eh? Yeah, let me know what canal is on. But yeah, say it's I love food. I'm a foodie, but I like all fresh ingredients. I I do have a freezer on the boat, but I never buy anything frozen and put in there. I go to the local butchers when I'm down in the town, buy whatever I'm buying, like those lamb shanks I bought. Now, I bought from a local butcher's two really large lamb shanks. Okay, they're not pre-cooked or anything like that, like you're buying Tesco and a gravy or whatever, which costs you about £6 or £7 each. These were £3.50 each, and they were huge, absolutely wonderful. Okay, they take about 6 hours to cook, but when the stove's going, which it is now, as you know, I'm in here, it's 23.3 degrees in the boat at the moment, so it's not exactly chilly. I put the pan on top of the stove, and it can sit there all day cooking away just nice and gently. Absolutely brilliant. So those lamb shanks were absolutely. I'm going to say so. I'm going to blow my own trumpet here. They're absolutely gorgeous. The meat just melted in your mouth, fell off the bone, and the red wine sauce or gravy I made with it just made it. And I did a mashed potato and sweet potato and potato mashed, and I only add butter to it, so it's quite rich mashed potato, a little pepper on it, and serve that with the lamb shanks. Yeah, that's the sort of food I like. Proper food, you know. I like roasts. I love my roast meals. Normally it's not a roast joint particular. Although I did a roast joint the other day. I say it was a turkey thigh joint, seasoned. I started that off on the top of the stove as well because I wanted to keep it. Sometimes they can be a little bit tough, not particularly, but I wanted to cook it through slowly to start off with. So I did 2 hours on top of the stove on a real low heat because the stove was only just about going. Then I put it in the oven with my potatoes and carrots and parsnips, sweet potatoes, which I all roasted. And I put it in then on a higher heat to crisp all the skin up on the skin part. I love the skin part. And with the roasties and all that, and I did green beans with it or something like that. I think it was. Oh no, it wasn't actually. Was it green beans? It did work. Yeah, I think it was. I did the leek dish with another one. I did leeks and a cheese sauce a couple of days ago. But I cook all from scratch. Everything I do is from scratch. Lamb slice. Yeah, they are all clean jokes. Yes, yes. Which are all good for YouTube. I don't get into trouble then. Saw a fellow in the street shooting ribeye steaks, pork chops, chicken legs, shoulder lamb. I thought he's not mincing his words. Oh. Yeah. You see, I like good food. Um, I'm not the person you're going to find ever, ever, ever in a McDonald's. Can't stand it. I've been to McDonald's twice in my life. Worst things I've ever tried. Never go back. I've never eat. I didn't eat either. It's one mouthful and done on both. First time I was in the US, I was going on a fishing trip, and we was in a coach, and I was, it was a team event. I used to fish for Smith's Industries here in when I lived in Basingstoke, and they said we'll stop and get breakfast on the way. I thought, oh, that's handy. I won't bother to make breakfast at 4 o'clock in the morning before we go or anything. They stopped at a McDonald's. I said, I thought he was going to stop and get breakfast. Anyway, I'd never had McDonald's before, so I didn't even know what to order. So somebody said to me, "What do you like?" I said, "Well, sausage, egg, bacon, something like that." Oh, on a plate, Oh, well, we're going through the drive-through. I said, "You can't take the coach through the drive-through." No, someone's going to go up and we're going to go and pick it up from the drive-through. Oh, okay, whatever. I said, "Well, I don't even know what to order then. I have no idea what you can get in the McDonald's." They said, "Well, if you like sausage, get a sausage and egg McMuffin." Okay, whatever that is. If it's a muffin, I don't mind a muffin. Well, it came back. I'm not quite sure what the sausage was. Sausage meat is a patty sort of thing, I think the cardboard box would have tasted better. And the egg, if you could take the egg and throw it against the wall, those old power balls which used to come flying back at 100 miles an hour, I'm sure it would come back faster. It was like rubber. So that was it. Back in the box, throw it away. Next time, I was in the US. I thought, well, McDonald's comes from the US, and I was with my ex and her kids, I think it was, and they wanted to go to McDonald's. I thought, it's got to be better over there. McDonald's, it was worse. I thought it was worse. Honestly, you couldn't get me to eat that. There's once again, one mouth bin. Can't do McDonald's, and I've never been in a Burger King, so I don't know what a Burger King is like. I've never been in one. I don't do fast food. I don't do burgers. I'm not a big bread fan. More carbohydrates. I'm not a big bread fan. But I don't eat burgers particularly. I'll do them on the grill sometimes. I make my own, and I'll do them on the grill in the summer months. But I won't put them in a bun. I'll just have them on the plate with some salad or something. Yeah. Love things like I love seasoning up things like wings and chicken thighs, and not a big fan of the chicken breast. I think it was one of the worst parts of the chicken. I know most people rave over it, but no, a nice steak, roast dinner, curry, Thai, Chinese, and I make all my own, by the way. I'm not talking about going to the restaurants. I'm talking about I make my own all from scratch. I enjoy my food. I enjoy a good variation of food, but I just don't. Fast food, can't do it. Just don't like it. And I've got miles and miles behind there. I expect people have been saying things and I'm miles and miles away. Right, folks, I'm going to have to go now. Great people on this channel. I'm glad you enjoyed the Manx Beer, Trev. Okay, David, great seeing you. Absolutely fantastic. I hope you're still here to hear that. Later, Dave. See you on the next one. Yeah, I would. Do you know what? Just thinking about it. Now, I might not have any beers to drink, but next Wednesday, I will have my laptop with me. I could do a live stream. We'll see how it goes. See what's going on. I'm not promising anything. At this moment in time, there's nothing next Wednesday. I'll just let you guys know. I've got nothing planned for next Wednesday. I have actually had one of those in Coal City, a breakfast burrito. And it had scrambled eggs and sausage, and I'm not quite sure. I think it had chorizo in it. I ate it. Don't get me wrong, I ate it. It's darn sight better than eating a McDonald's McMuffin, I can assure you. But it just doesn't do anything for me. I'll eat them, but yeah, I don't know. Best bet to get breakfast. Yes, you're totally right. Go to a restaurant. Totally agree. I had breakfast in the US a few times. Local little restaurants, not the big chains. What was I trying to think the names of the? Can't even think the names of them now. But yeah, local little restaurants. 2 or 3 local little restaurants. Coal City restaurant I used to go to sometimes. There was the Whistle Stop at Coal City. Well, it's actually in Diamond. Let's go there. Great breakfast, absolutely great breakfast. Get everything, absolutely everything, and they were really good. So yeah, and it's basically, well, else in America, you can get like a full English if you want to. You know, your bacon, your egg, your sausage, and one thing I must say, it was Coal City restaurant. If I get eggs, I always want them poached, and I want them poached. What do you call them in America? Poached lightly, soft anyway. And as soon as I walked in there, they always knew that I wanted poached eggs, and they cooked them perfect for me every time, absolutely perfect. So I've got to give them that. That was really, really good. I've never been in a Bob Evans. Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I think it's going an hour and a quarter. Lemon neck. I don't know. I rabbit on so much. But yeah, Denny's. Oh, Denny's. Cheap and nasty. God, yeah, can't do Denny's either. But some of the, as I say, the little independent restaurants, absolutely great breakfast. You know, another one that I didn't like. I don't think I've ever had breakfast in it, but oh gee whiz, what was it called? Baker's Square. Oh, I went in there once and I ordered pork chops and that or other, and I said to them, "Are the mashed potatoes real or are they freeze-dried potatoes?" I said, "If they're freeze-dried, I don't want them. I'll get a jacket potato instead." Oh, definitely freshly made. It came out as freeze-dried potatoes, and I can tell instantly as soon as I taste them. I said, "You told me that they weren't freeze-dried potatoes; they were freshly made." "Well, they are." I said, "No, they're not." And the girl says, "Well, I know they are." I said, "Well, I know they're not. I can tell it instantly. I can tell by the texture and the taste instantly they're freeze-dried potatoes." And anyway, she went and got the manager, and the manager came over and said, "Oh, what's wrong?" I said, "I told they weren't freeze-dried potatoes, but these are freeze-dried potatoes." So, "Well, you don't expect us to mash potatoes, do you?" That was my answer. Anyway, I didn't pay for it, but there you go. I didn't eat it, by the way, either. Yeah, this yeah, poached egg. Yeah, I like poached eggs. I think it's time to wrap this up. I've been going for an hour and a quarter. I try to keep them to about an hour actually normally. So I really thank everybody for coming in. I really appreciate you all joining me. That's absolutely great. And yeah, next Wednesday, can't promise anything for next Wednesday. If I'm in a situation, I'll have my laptop with me, but it's whether I just hotspot my phone for the internet. So if I got a good internet connection, I'll do a live stream. But I don't know where I'm going to be, so I don't know if I'll have a good internet connection or not. It's not perfect here, but it's good enough to. It's just about good enough to run it here. I did notice the picture go a little bit blurry a couple of times tonight, but hopefully it's been watchable anyway. So yeah, so let's wrap it up, and I better wrap it up in my normal way, hadn't I? Thank you very much for watching. Trevor out. I'll work out how to stop this end stream. End.